It's like, I have to carry you through life, and it's like, you're my girlfriend. I have things I have to do every day, so you're supposed to help me through it. You should be so helpful with it. You should make your own videos all day long, and I was able to do my own thing, help everyone else with their stuff. I have to just help me and you now. That's out! No! What are you doing? You just lost all my money!
So in my last video on Jack Doherty, we watched him humiliate himself in public and get kicked out of every single place he went to. But in this video, we're going to talk about a more serious topic, and that is the treatment, some would even say abuses, that Jack Doherty has inflicted on many of his OF girls, particularly McKinley Richardson, his ex-girlfriend. She recently went on a podcast with fellow OF girl Camila Arroyo and exposed everything. This was a 5-hour podcast and I watched it all, so you guys don't have to. So in this podcast, McKinley leaked private DMs with her and Jack. She accused him of some really horrific stuff, including being controlling, coercive, physically and emotionally abusive. She revealed that she was pregnant at one point. The list just goes on, and it was bad, like really bad. But even that is only the tip of the iceberg. It goes far beyond that. And after watching the podcast, I'm kind of amazed that Jack Doherty hasn't been thrown in jail if these allegations are true. So we're going to get into all of it, but I actually want to start with something that people have been speculating on for years, and that is how he exploits his OF girls and the shady contracts that they have to sign with him. So McKinley did talk about this.
I remember one of the girls had a conversation with him and just said, like, what value does she bring to you? Like, she brings no value. She makes you no money.
Huh?
Yeah. She was like, all she does is take selfies and she's around the house and she does this. She's unemployed. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't make you any money. That's when I started piecing together that these girls, they make money from all, but he also takes a large chunk. And I never knew what chunk of money was taken because he has everyone on NDAs. And they were unable to talk about it. But also at the same time, I did have a lot of the girls confide in me because I wasn't involved. And I had no involvement in the business side of things. And they would just tell me how unhappy they are with the contract that they're in. They told me about it. And I wasn't on that type of contract, but that was how he did things in the beginning, I guess, when people were less aware and more naive. I don't want to get into specifics in people's business, but I know that was probably, looking back on it, the reason why they were so upset at him showering me with gifts with their money.
Yeah, so it's as we've all thought for years. Jack has all of these girls locked into what sounds like pretty predatory contracts where he takes a huge chunk of their money. And you might be asking, well, why don't they just leave and do it on their own instead of giving Jack all of their money? And I don't know about the situation with Jack Doherty specifically, but from what I've heard about other people that run this type of business, usually the guy running it has control of all the accounts, all the email addresses, the passwords. So if they leave and go out on their own, they lose control of their account and their income source, and they have to start from scratch. It sounds completely insane, right? But it's just crazy that these girls don't even get all the money that they make. Like, they do all of the work. And they can't expose this because they've signed NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. So why would anyone sign this kind of contract? It's nuts, right? Well, McKinley did talk about this as well, and basically these girls, they're promised the good life: money, yachts, clubs, fine dining. You can have it all if you just sign here.
Why I kept giving him chance after chance, even though I was kind of seeing things that bothered me and that were crossing, boundaries that I would have never let happen in a normal relationship. But again, this is not normal because he was, so involved with social media, and that was something that, I actually looked up to. Like with him, I looked up to how much he was involved in social media and also just his passion for it and his work. But I think most of the reason why I stayed and why I kept coming back and why I kept giving him chance after chance was because he was providing an illusion that he cared for me and that he was a genuine, caring person that, wanted the best for me. And he was also providing me a life that I had never seen before. In Miami, I'm 20 years old. I had never been to a bar or a club or like seeing these boats. Like it was something that was so new to me, and it was exciting in itself. Even without a boyfriend or whatever, that was an exciting moment for me.
So I actually don't blame McKinley or the other OF girls for being allured by the glamorous lifestyle. I feel like a lot of people would be attracted to that. You know, like who doesn't want to live a good life? But behind the supercars and parties and yachts is a much darker reality. And McKinley talked about how after just a few months, the initial caring, nice guy persona wore off and things got a lot more sinister and scary in her relationship with Jack. He started calling her useless and yelling at her, cussing her out, and she actually feared for her physical safety.
I remember all I said to him was, if I'm so useless, then why do you take all my money? That's all I said. And that enraged him. He was furious. He stormed over to me. He was like, you stupid. He's like, you're not grateful for shit. He was like, I should have never given you a chance. And I'm brushing my teeth, I'm crying, there are tears coming down my face. And he comes right here and he's like, you're a stupid. He's spitting on me. He literally, I could feel the spit come off of his mouth because of how close he was to my face, screaming in my ear. And he pushes me as hard as he can into the wall. And I caught myself in my arm, which I have a picture of the bruise, from the day after. He pushes me and I caught myself, and he told me, he was like, oh, you flopped. He's like, stop flopping. I was like, I did not flop. I said, don't you ever put your hands on me, ever. And he was like, I didn't fucking put my hands on you, you flopped. He was like, I don't give a flopped. So I walked outside to the outside balcony after. But before I could even like do anything or text my parents, he had came outside and he was like, you're just so annoying, like, to deal with. I'm trying so hard not to punch you in the face. I'm trying so hard. It's taking everything in me not to punch you in the stupid face. And he's grabbing his fist. He's red as his eye. It was not the normal Jack I was so used to. It was so like completely different. And I was terrified in that moment. I was so scared. I didn't know if he was about to beat the shit out of me. We had guns. He would always make jokes and say, like, I'm like, should we just ourselves? Like, I'll just you, I'll me, like, just ourselves. I didn't know. He was so enraged. I didn't know what he was capable of. So I just knew I needed to leave the situation. I needed to get out. When he said that he wished he could punch me in the face, or like he was trying so hard not to, I told him, I was like, we're done. I'm done with you. I'm absolutely done.
So that was pretty insane to watch. I mean, McKinley literally accused Jack of a crime, assault, by pushing her and causing her to get bruised. Now, ultimately, a lot of what she says in the podcast is he said, she said. It is accusations. But to be honest, I would not be surprised if everything she is accusing him of is true, because it's pretty clear Jack only cares about views and clout. Like, that is it. McKinley, all of his girls, the blondes that follow him around everywhere, they are nothing to him but a tool to fill his bank account. So McKinley also revealed that at one point she got pregnant with Jack's child, and it's pretty unbelievable what happened next.
And I had never taken a pregnancy test ever in my life, and for some reason this one night I ordered one. I ordered the pregnancy test, I took it, and I set it aside. I'm like, you know what, I don't think this is why I feel this way. I'm really hoping it's not. I wasn't expecting anything, and it was positive. And in that moment, I realized, like, wow, like, not only, I wasn't preparing myself for this, but with where we're at in our relationship and how I feel and like how he treats me, like, that's all that came to my mind. It was no happy thought at all. But but I was terrified. And I had another pregnancy test, and I was like, surely to goodness it was a false one. Like, let me take another one. I took another one, and instantly positive. I was like, wow, like it's real. Like, this is real. My life is over. Like, that's all I was thinking. I was like, my life is done. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. My parents are going to kill me. I even felt bad for, even just the fact that I had that, and I'm, actively taking Adderall. I was actively drinking. I was like, I had no idea. I go downstairs, and Jack is outside, and I was like, Jack, I need to talk to you. And I told him, and he didn't seem surprised whatsoever. He was like, W. He literally was excited over the fact that we were going to make the most money we have ever made in our lives. It wasn't because he was excited to have a baby with me and have a family and start a new era of our life. It was, oh my gosh, we're going to start a family YouTube channel, and you're going to make so much money when you're pregnant and you have a pregnant belly. And I remember looking at him, and I was like, Jack, you do not realize if this is happening, I'm done. I'm not doing that. And I don't want to be on social media, and we need to change our lives. Like, here we are, we're living in this house. There's random people coming into our house all the time. It's not safe. What he does for a living, like, he streams, he's always in chaos. I was like, there needs to be some sort of lifestyle change. Like, I don't know if you're ready for that. And he was like, it doesn't have to be a lifestyle change. Like, people have babies when they're broke. Like, we're good. Like, we're going to make so much more money when we have a baby.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, to be honest, I have some respect for McKinley in this situation, as surprising as that is. It sounds like she was prepared to step up and be an adult. She clearly knew what having a child means. You've got to quit the OF, you've got to quit the no more partying. She knew their lifestyle was not safe at all for a child. But Jack, oh my goodness, he wanted to do a Ryan's World on the baby, to exploit the baby for money. And what kind of life is that for a child? But it's not surprising that all Jack cares about is money and clout. So as you might have guessed, because there is no baby, McKinley decided to get rid of it, if you know what I mean. And that is sad, but ultimately, who would want to bring Jack Doherty's baby into the world? Like, that's brutal, but it's just true. So after this, she also revealed that Jack planned to cheat on her and get another girl pregnant at the same time, and the whole thing is just insane.
He seems excited, so I was like, well, maybe I'll see a different side of him and he'll step up, and this will be the time I actually see Jack become a man and respect me, and maybe this is the answer. That the day after, he ends up going to the club, and he was making jokes about how he wanted to cheat on me, and now that I'm pregnant and can't do anything, that this is his time to get another pregnant. That way he can keep me and keep her and just have me be there, because no one would me if I had Jack Doherty's baby. That's what he would say to me. So while he's saying these things to me, and I'm already going through how I feel about the situation already, I'm like, this is a horrible situation to be in. He's trapping me. He's literally to my face telling me that as soon as I have a baby, he's going to move on from me and try to have a baby with somebody else, and I'm just there. So again, I don't want to believe this. I know he's making these jokes, but there's truth to all of his jokes. He ends up going to the club, and I went with him. I obviously wasn't drinking, I wasn't doing anything, but all of my friends were drinking. All of my friends were, and they were like, McKinley, you're gonna take a shot? And I was just like, no, I'm not drinking tonight. And that was like, I couldn't tell them in the moment. I didn't want to tell anybody. We get into the car, and as soon as we get into the car, he sparks up a blunt, and I'm sitting right next to him, and he's blowing smoke into my face, like weed smoke. And I looked at him, and I couldn't say anything in a car full of people, but I looked at him and I was like, are you f***ing me? Like, here I am, your pregnant girlfriend, and you think it's funny to blow smoke into my face. So I was already upset at that. We end up getting to the club. I almost passed out. I was overheated. I was like, I should not be here. I need to go home. He's flirting with girls in front of me. He's, making the jokes he does on stream, degrading me, making fun of me, talking about how all these girls are bad and this girl has a fat ass and all these things. So I told him, I was like, I'm leaving.
Yeah, so that was absolutely insane. I actually can't believe people like Jack exist. Like, what kind of human being thinks like this? It's just evil. And I guess it shows how money can really corrupt people. Now look, McKinley is by no means a saint. She's done some questionable things in the past, such as use a child to promote her OF, but in my opinion, no one deserves to get treated like dirt and get treated like she's accusing Jack of treating her. In the end, I think ultimately McKinley can be seen as a cautionary tale. She was a small town girl from Georgia who got sucked into the Miami glamorous life of fame and fortune and learned that it really wasn't that glamorous. There was a whole lot more terrible stuff that happened to her and that she talked about in the podcast, but it's too much to cover in one video. But I am kind of amazed that Jack isn't in jail, but I guess money talks, right? What do you guys think about all this? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you later.